But that's what he said too.
It's
he was
not
like,
natural
it's
to
different.
her.
It's different people. It's African American people. It's black people, and it's niggas. And I'm a fucking nigga.
Yeah.
And I don't fuck with nobody that's African American. I'm thinking to myself, well, nigga.
My name is Charnae Fisher. I am the lead investigator at Fish Eye Investigations Group. I am also the CEO of Fish Eye Investigations Group. I started off like chasing fugitives and some crazy wild stuff, and I wanted to do something where I could help people and make money. And so that's what led me to open my own agency. My favorite thing about this job is to help people. When I first got into it, I was really big, and I still am big on like really helping people. People always call us with a problem, and like we are like walking problem solvers. So yesterday I was not in the office. I received a call from Tang, the office coordinator, that said that we received a complaint. We received a complaint from a pro-per client. A pro-per client is an individual that represents themselves, so essentially he is his own attorney. There was a complaint that he no longer wanted to work with one of the investigators that's in the office. So this morning or yesterday I set up a virtual visit with him, and I just kind of had a meeting with him. From what I gathered, maybe there may be an issue that he was not handled properly based off of the crime that he committed. He felt like he was being interrogated, not being helped, and all the way around, he just does not want to work with that person.
And so you're trying to save this case? Or you're trying to do damage control? Or what is that?
Trying to do damage control and save the case. So this is a very small community. Once you get to this level of investigations, word of mouth is everything. So basically save the case and damage control. Damage control is to try to keep us in good standings with the inmates that's in jail in Maricopa County. And then to try to save the case, because he has already had different investigators that did absolutely nothing for him. And there are some tasks that needs to be done to complete his case to get ready to either push him to trial or when he takes the plea. So I was just trying to talk him down and give him different avenues and really do a preliminary investigation for myself to see how I'm going to handle the situation going forward, to understand exactly how he felt, what was said to him, how he perceived everything, and just the process and what was said from the investigator to him. Mm-hmm. Because even if you were under pressure, if you feel like you was under pressure, you could have came to me and said, you know what, as a professional, because we are fucking professionals up in here, I don't feel comfortable. Or I feel like I'm under pressure, and we could have sat and had a conversation to bring the pressure. I mean, that's just me saying to you.
I think it's just not natural. Sometimes it's natural. Like, I'm natural. I can work with hood, this and that. So
but that's what he said too. He was like, it's different people. It's African American people, it's black people, and it's niggas. And I'm a fucking nigga. Yeah. And I don't fuck with nobody that's African American. I'm thinking to myself, well, nigga.
But you understand.
I'm African American, yeah, but I'm African American. But I can turn it off and turn it back on. But if you gonna read my bio, that shit gonna say African American. That shit is not gonna say black. Like, I hate for my mama. Like, my mom, she got a dog grooming school. The first African American person in the South to open up a dog grooming school, and she'd get on there, yeah, I'm the first black person. I'm like, can you stop saying that bullshit? Because it's not professional. But then again, you got to know who you dealing with.
Mm-hmm. But you still know how to work with niggas.
I know how to work with anybody. Mm-hmm. It don't matter who the fuck you are. You can be a fucking dime on the ground, and I'm gonna go and get you. Mm-hmm. So it don't matter. But she needs to be able to do that, and it's going to be some kind of explanation that has to be had.
So this was when I was at home, and I did receive a call, and I'm like, okay, complaint, like, okay, this hasn't happened to me thus far as while working here for Fish Shop. And so at the time, she really didn't know. She had to schedule a visit with the client to see what was the issue or the story on his side of what happened. And then she finally followed up with me when I returned to the office, and it was stated, you know, he felt like I was more so on the side of like a detective and things like that, and basically that, and he felt like he wasn't able to open up to me. And so I kind of, you know, me and Charnae had a conversation. You know, my job as an investigator is to ask questions. I guess the feedback that I got is don't ask questions too soon. And I know in my previous episodes, I did talk about building relationship is important. And I think sometimes, you know, with these cases, we're like ready to go, especially if we receive like media or any surveillance or body cam footage, we're like, oh, okay, so we've seen the crime, like we see it, we know, and so we're kind of ready to jump in there. And I think what happened was I was able to review all the things that we needed. And when I went in there, so softly, because I don't think that I'm so hard or mean looking, because the client even said he was scared. So I'm not a scary looking person or nor my voice, but I think it's just some feedback in regards to like kind of don't ask the questions too soon and kind of just like listen to them, which is like an honest mistake, because never did I mean any harm to make a person feel less than or not heard, And so that's the feedback that I got from it. It's again, like I said in previous episodes, that, this is you learn, no matter how long you've been in this game or this field, you're always learning and mistakes do happen. And so I just got some feedback in regards to kind of when or how to ask questions, or don't ask questions too soon, because you may make another person feel kind of like scared or not want to open up or along those lines. So
my week on a personal level has been hell because my son was in a car accident, and so we've been trying to get that squared away, but just pushing off some interviews. We don't have anything big this week. We did bring on a new hire, so once he finishes his 90-day probation, he will be introduced to everyone. But this week has just kind of been slow motion. I've kind of just been in and out of the office this week. We are going to be preparing to hire the new investigator in Texas, so she'll be getting brought on pretty soon here. And we're just trying to play catch up. Friday was very dramatic. We had a lawyer that started emailing me demanding all these things at the same time. Investigators on ball had to be in court, which we were not prepared. So I was running around here crazy like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to burn exhibits to a disc, trying to make sure we do this. Today we do have to go do some records requests at the motor vehicle department to get some certified records to be able to produce as an exhibit. But that's kind of it. Gracie might have something extra to talk about.
What about the Jimmy Boy case?
So what happened today with your bond? That one.
That's other case.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to say names or whatever.
Okay.
Because you just recorded it, so I'm going to upload it.
Yeah. So, I have a client that I saw today. We did mitigation. We had submitted a bond reduction form probably in, I want to say August. He had his hearing like 3 weeks ago. They reduced it to $5,000. The bail bond project allows you to submit a application when your bond is $5,000 or less, and they'll pay for it. He had an interview yesterday, and his wife had an interview today because that was his reference. And she just texted me saying, they're gonna release him in 2 days.
Yay!
Yay! So I'm gonna tell him tomorrow. Virtual. So I'm so excited. Woohoo! Okay, so we had received a criminal case. Sometimes if you are in prison here in the county and you get a charge while in prison, they send you back to county jail so that you can work that case.
Okay.
So this man has already been sentenced. I think he served like 18 years, and he was getting ready to be released that week. And the county jail picked him up for sexual misconduct with a correctional officer. Yes. And so now he's back in county jail, and he gets appointed us. And so, we're working the case. I'm working the case, and I'm getting somewhere. This correctional officer has a disciplinary file very similar to the allegations. It's almost as if this correctional officer was lying, because she knew that he was getting released. But that's our job to find out the truth, that's what we do. And so, I'm working the case, and I've seen him probably like maybe 2-3 times at Lower Buckeye Jail. And I'm telling him like, hey, this is a disciplinary file, we're moving in the right direction, just be patient, we'll continue to do investigative efforts. And then all of a sudden he's all like, can you do me a favor? If you can get like a notebook from my daughter or my mother or something like that. Because at Lower Buckeye, it's not as maximum security as 4th Avenue. 4th Avenue, anything you give an inmate, the correctional officer will know. Even if like you go through something called a mezzanine, there's like a slot where you sign paperwork. That slot is locked at 4th Avenue Jail. You have to get a correctional officer to open it. And at Lauren Buckeye, they have the same slot, but it's open. So you can pass things through. Typically, it's for when the client needs to sign a release form or an affidavit, or you need to show them something, etc. And he's like, well, can you get this notebook? And I'm like, what does the notebook contain? Like, is it something in regards to your case? And he's like, no, to be honest with you, it's drugs. They spray paperwork with K2. It's like synthetic drug. And he's like, I'll give you $5,000 for it. So immediately I was freaking pissed. I was so mad. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And he's like, no one has to know. Like, people do it in here. Because people do it. It gets in. Drugs get into jails. Whether it's correctional officers, investigators, attorneys, I don't know. It gets in some way or another. And so, yeah, he's over here trying to proposition me for me to like provide him with this notebook that his family member has, which is laced with drugs, so that he can make money in the jail. And I was like, no amount of money will make me lose my license. It's criminal. Also, like, fuck you. So I was like really, really upset. I told him no immediately. And then he's like, well, is that not enough money? Like, I can give you more money. And so again, I'm like, no, like, what's wrong with you? Because, I believe in your case. I'm like invested. I'm trying to help you so that you can go home to your wife, your family, your kids. You're done. You're done in the prison. And if you beat this case, you'd go home. It's easy. It's so easy.
You can do all the KT you want at that point, right?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want when you make it home. What's wrong with you? He's like, oh, it's because I can make money in here, and it's just some criminals, they just don't learn from their mistakes. I immediately reported that to my superior when I got back because I was really upset. And so we got off the case immediately, and we spoke to the lawyer and said, hey, this is what's happening, and we're not going to deal with it. We're just not going to deal with it. And so yeah, we got taken off the case. Yeah. I never saw him again after that. Yeah. I don't know what he's doing.
So you don't know if he's like out or not? Or...
I don't know what happened with this case. It's probably still ongoing because this was maybe 6 months ago. Cases take up to a year. I wouldn't doubt if he's still at county jail, but I haven't run into him. I don't think about him, but it's just something that happens. I'm a young woman, and maybe he thinks I'm naive, but that's where I have to really, I don't want to say prove myself, but I have to be confident. And I'm the investigator, they're the client. They're the ones that are in jail, not me. So I have to control the room.
Yeah, set those boundaries.
Set the boundaries, control the room.
So today we are currently undercover at a bar. Cheers. We're scoping out the scene for where this shooting happened. And I feel comfortable right now. We're getting these little looks a little bit, but it's all good. I'm in therapy. I see my therapist either twice a month or once a month, depending on what I have going on. And like I said previously, I'm a big advocate of self-care. So, I go and I relax. I get massages, I get pedicures, I get manicures, go do things that make me relax. In the Air Force, we were taught a breathing technique. So if I feel overwhelmed, I start going into my breathing techniques to try to calm myself down. And now if it becomes too much, I just kind of pull myself away, and I try to do the same thing with them. I'm a person that can read people, so I can determine whether somebody's being overwhelmed. So I just come in and be like, take a break. Or like we did when we went to the rodeo, I try to find something fun that we all can do to hang out and have a good time. I think we've been talking about going to the rally for Kamala Harris. So I think we may do that. I'm not sure. I haven't made that. It's tomorrow. I haven't made the full decision on that. But the mental health piece for my employees, I try to offer them with benefits. The last set of people that I've had, I've only had one person that come to me and really just say it without me observing it. And at that time, she just decided that she couldn't do it anymore. But we do offer benefits that they can go seek mental health, or, I'll give them a break or whatever. If they want to take time off, they can have time off. I don't mind that. And I kind of just try to talk them through it. If a particular case,
arouses something in their personal life, I just immediately pull them off. And I give you an example. For investigators, one of her friends was murdered, and she came in and she talked about it, and she talked about it, and we talked about it, and she accepted it, and she went to the visuals and stuff. 2 months later, we're doing a brief, and I'm going over it, and she's going over it, and the individual whose case we got was the guy that murdered her friend. So I immediately shut that down. I called that lawyer and I said, unfortunately, this is a conflict. We can't take it. This guy was the person that murdered her friend, and he understood it, and we moved on from that. So I make those choices and decisions, like if it's too much, and it's kind of like that with sex cases. I know if we get a sex case, I would probably be the one to take it. Depending on the depth of it, Gracie would be able to take it. I probably wouldn't give it to anybody else. With the new person that we just brought on, he kind of shared some of his history with me, and he was a victim with one of his family members. So there are some particular cases that if those scenarios happen, I just won't give them those cases. So I feel it in my spirit. I just say that. Like, I feel it in my spirit when I need to start detaching, But we did have a case where myself and another lawyer were very into this case. And this case was a very unique case where this client was out of custody. He was a firefighter and he was charged with arson. He was very sharp, very intelligent, very likable, and he was very into his case, through and through. And we were both into this case and into him 100%. We thought that if we met him on the streets, he could be a friend. Well, we went through the process. We lost. So he lost that trial. And it took a while for us to detach ourselves. So we sat down and we had a meeting together and we said, this could never happen again. So even though we try to treat them like people, we do become attached. But at this point, we draw the line. We're going to control it. We kind of because he was out of custody, allow him to control the narrative of how we met, how often we met, how long we met, where we met. We would literally be meeting all over the state in different places. And then it ended up with us always just being here. We would be here and we would be together for 5 or 6 hours, working the case, getting everything together and all this stuff. So from that one, and then once we lost, we felt that we lost our best friend, both of us. We literally sat down and had a conversation about it. So now, do I change my avenues in the way that I work with people that's out of custody? Yes. But depending on the personality and the spirit, sometimes I can't. I've had this one guy, he's a young guy. He got into trouble because his girlfriend had him go to a store with him while she steal. He started off rough, but me being me and being the mother, and doing this job for so long, I just came in and was look, I'm here to help you. I'm not going to chase you. I'm not going to argue with you. You got to do what I tell you to do, how to do it, and you're going to get the best deal that you can get. Because obviously, we know what we know. At first, he was very evasive. He didn't want to talk to me. He didn't want to have nothing to do with me. Towards the end of the call, he said, you want me to be his mentor? But I had to not go there with him based off my experience with the firefighter. So that kind of gave me a sense of detachment on how to handle them. I'll still go above and beyond. I'll still meet you wherever you want to meet because you're not in custody. I'm not going to just demand that you come in here because obviously this is my area. This is where I'm comfortable at, and I want them to be comfortable. But I just knew that I couldn't allow that to happen. Now, when the cases are the cases are just open, I just automatically detach because I know that I'm obligated to just release myself.
Right.
But do I still think about them? Oh, yeah. Walking down the street, I think about this one client that I had where he had multiple personality disorders, schizophrenia, he had it all. And he literally walked up to this lady and just started stabbing her. So anytime that I see somebody that's homeless, they can't get close to me.
Have you ever established any friendships with your clients?
I can't say friendships, but a level of professionalism.
Sure, but you're not going out to drink for drinks with any of your clients well after the fact.
Nope.
That's good.
No, I don't do that. I've had some lawyers that he provided jobs to some of his clients. Me, the most that I would do is if you're here and we're done and you out of state, pick you up from jail, take you to get some food and drop you off at the bus station. And then do they follow me on social media and stuff? Some do. And some send messages. Some call and check in, they'll check in and just, want to tell me what they're doing, if their life is better and stuff like that. But to classify them as friends, no. And I did have one that I thought we could be friends. He was in the Air Force. He was in Intel. He was very smart. He represented himself. And we worked the system so well together that he only did 1 day in DLC. But then he went to Florida and did something else. But I thought that we could be friends, but again, it's crossing the line. But he follows me on social media. He checks in from time to time, let me know what's going on. If they all get in trouble, they always call back again. It's my hope that they don't reoffend, but the average person does. But no, I don't. I can't. Because most of our clients are murderers. The only ones that we have that's not murderers, they may be in some domestic violence stuff, and I ain't got to. It is a safety thing, and then I'm not, for my friends, like I don't have a lot of friends. So for my friends, if it's a holiday, I want my friends to come to my house, and I'm not finna have somebody that I represented with come to my house. I'm not finna go out in public with you. I'm just not gonna be doing any of that, because almost every last one of them that we get, these people are dangerous. I treat them as people, and they are people to me, but they are very, very dangerous. Most of them will snap at the snap of a finger. They will just snap. Like I've had some that's been in and out, and they've been a consistent client of mine for about 5 years. And they will call and say, hey, I just moved into a new house. Can you come over? Let's have a drink. Oh, I know you ain't gonna have a drink with me, but I got some cameras. Can you come set these cameras up for me? Like, trying to continue to have some type of communication with me, but I just can't.